Welcome again, and let me start off by saying congratulations on being admitted to the College of Arts and Sciences here at UM-Flint. We're really excited to have you, and we're really excited at the opportunities that exist for you as a student here in CAS. So I want to start off by introducing you to some of the people that you'll hear from tonight. I am Logan McGrady. I'm the communication specialist for the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm also an alumni of UM-Flint. I graduated from this campus in 2013, and I can truly say that I had an amazing experience from the classes that I took to the student organizations that I got involved in, the community I found here. I had simply a great experience. I learned so much. It was some of the best years of my life. We'll also hear from the Office of Financial Aid. Mary Horgan is here. We'll talk with two of the deans of the College of Arts and Sciences. We have Dr. Susan Gano-Phillips and Dr. Roy Barnes here. You'll hear from the advising staff of the college. We have Jeff Dobbs and Myesha Cannon, who is our career advisor. We have two current students that we'll have a Q&A with, April Bartle and Fernando Ramirez Medina. They are the CAS student ambassadors. And we also have some admissions professionals on hand as well. We have Lexi Welch and John Amboy, who will be providing you some particulars on your next steps. So let me start off by saying, if at any point in time you have some questions or comments, feel free to put those in the chat. We want this to be an interactive session, so don't be afraid to ask questions. And at the end as well, we'll have an opportunity for everyone to come off mute and ask any questions that you may have. And to start that off, feel free to let us know in the chat what major or career you're interested in. That might be a great way for us to circle back later on in the session and talk about some more particulars in those areas. And if you aren't sure what you want to do for a career or your major, that's fine too. Share that, and we might be able to help point you in the right direction. So let me start off by introducing you to Mary Horgan from the Office of Financial Aid, and she's going to tell you some specifics and some helpful information as you start to navigate the college process. Mary, I turn it over to you.
Hey, thanks everyone. It's really nice to be able to be here this evening and chat with everyone. If you do have questions, please add them into the chat. As Logan had indicated, we have been in the financial aid, the Office of Financial Aid, we are working remotely still, but we have been awarding students for quite some time now. And those award notices went out in paper. If you have a change after that first one that went through, then those would go through your student email. We would ask if students who are maybe have a promise or from a city that has a promise scholarship like the Detroit or the Flint promise, please contact your chamber so that you can work with those individuals. That's the way that we get those funds on your awards onto your award notice. And then we also have students who may be eligible for the Michigan Competitive Scholarship, and that we would like you to contact the state of Michigan for. There's one last thing that I would like to say, that if you need any assistance with financial aid whatsoever, if it is filling out the FAFSA form or making a change on your FAFSA form, you don't understand your award, you don't understand what your next steps are going to be, we have two different methods that you can contact us. You can schedule an appointment and we will call you back. And we also have an email. So the email we monitor on the weekends also, so that if you have something that you want to ask us and it's just not that during the middle of the week, definitely ask us. We'll be responding back to students. If we can't help you in either of those ways, if we need to set up something so that we can see your screen, we can do that also. So I'll go ahead and I'll put that information on how to contact the financial aid office into the chat, and then I will hand it back as we go through. If anyone has any questions, again, please feel free to put it in the chat and I'll be happy to look up your information.
Thanks so much, Mary. And yeah, absolutely don't hesitate in making sure that your financial plan is in order. Today, we're going to be presenting a lot of student success stories and sharing resources with you to make sure that you become one of those success stories. So I'll start off with just one quick tip. If at any time you aren't sure where to turn to, you're going to hear a lot of information and a lot of resources and opportunities here available with CAS. So if you ever aren't sure where to turn to, go ahead and email umflintcas@umich.edu. And I check that email every day, and we will respond promptly with the answers that you're looking for. And if we aren't sure of that answer right away, I'm going to assist you in finding that answer. So if at any time you aren't sure where to turn to, email umflintcas@umich.edu. Let's start off and meet the deans of the College of Arts and Sciences. So we'll start off with the dean, Susan Gano-Phillips. Susan, take it away.
Thanks, Logan. Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you. For those who don't really know what a dean is or what they do, it means that I oversee and administer everything related to all of the 25 odd undergraduate degree programs, as well as our graduate degree programs across the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm assisted in that work by 2 associate deans, one of whom you'll be hearing from in just a few minutes. And our job is to help faculty and students to be successful in whatever it is that they're doing. So we're responsible for everything from putting a course schedule together to ensuring that the facilities and classrooms and labs are ready for you when you're coming to campus, and supporting any of the work that you're doing in your co-curricular and extracurricular activities as well. So we're really glad that you're here tonight. And I have just a few things that I want to share with you. One of the things that I think makes our campus really unique are our physical facilities. And as you saw in that video at the beginning of the session, we have state-of-the-art, brand new facilities. I mean, they've hardly had, I think there's 2 classes meeting in the MSB expansion so far this semester. So when you get here in the summer or the fall, whenever you're going to be starting your classes, you're going to be entering some brand new spaces. And they range from research labs, such as this one that will be used by biology and chemistry students, to our engineering design spaces and workshop where folks can ideate and imagine ideas and then go to work in building them. You see in the back of this picture near that big overhead door, one of our student clubs who creates and builds and then competes in the Baja Racing Challenge. That's a nationwide competition. One of the really cool things about this new building space, we have them throughout the whole campus, but one of the really neat things about it are these collaborative spaces. You can see in the background of this picture, we have individual study rooms that will be reservable, where a group of 4 to 6 people can get together, and there'll be a wireless computer networking so that you can work on a screen together on projects and have a dedicated space just for you as students. Excuse me. So we're excited to welcome you and for you to find a place that feels like a home away from home, so that you don't have to just rush in, take a class and leave, but can actually have a convenient and comfortable space to be on campus. So sorry about that. I'd like to also tell you a little bit about some of the research opportunities that are available on campus. Now I saw from the list, we have everything from biology to political science, et cetera. And I want you to know that research goes on in each and every one of these fields. Maybe you think of research as a laboratory or bench science, as you see situated here. But English professors do research, as do philosophers and psychologists, which is my own background. So we have a program, just one of many, called the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, where you can actually get a stipend or be paid, excuse me, to work on a faculty member's research project alongside them. These are great learning experiences, and oftentimes our students who decide to go on to graduate or professional school, they actually say they've been able to do more in research experiences than many of the students that they're going to graduate school or medical school with, because we have such small class sizes and we have opportunities for you to be working alongside faculty members in really high-tech kinds of areas. I'd like to share two brief success stories with you. On the left here, you see one of our political science majors, and Mackenzie actually was able to engage in research with a couple of faculty. Excuse me. Her research looked at, and I'm looking at my notes to make sure I get this right. She was documenting and looking at documented academic essays to examine and analyze the political sentiments expressed in them. She was able to present her research at a Michigan Political Science Association conference, and she's gone on now to graduate and is pursuing her master's degree at the University of Missouri in communications. And on the right, Georgina Brown was a student who came to us as a transfer student. And despite her shorter than 4-year period of time with our campus, she was able to get involved in research in Dr. Joe Susik's lab. And she did research that looks at DNA genetic differences in the ability to recover from exercise. She translated that research and that experience working very closely with the faculty member into admissions to a MD PhD program, so a dual program at Michigan State University that she's just recently been accepted to. So we're really proud of the opportunities we make available, and as well as the successes that our students develop over the time that they're here. I'm going to pass this back briefly or shortly to Logan, but I wanted to just mention two other kind of differentiators that we're really proud of as a campus. The first is our relatively small class sizes. Many classes that you'll be a part of will have somewhere between 18 and 30 students in them. Now, you'll probably on occasion, and you can ask our students, encounter a class that's a little smaller from time to time, and you might encounter a class here or there that's larger. But you will not be a number at this institution. We will know you by name. There's no 300-person lectures. You're going to get to know your colleagues, your classmates, as well as your faculty members. And then finally, in the last slide that I'm going to show, you also have a chance to really get to know and engage with your faculty. We have some amazing faculty who are doing research that is recognized around the world, and they're here teaching you directly. We're not using a lot of teaching assistants or graduate assistants to instruct students. Our faculty members will be with you side by side in the virtual classroom, in the physical classroom, wherever it is you choose to pursue your work. So I hope that you're getting excited about the possibilities and can see the wide range of opportunities available to you. And I'll let Logan take it away to our next activities.
Thank you very much, Susan. Let's hear some more perspectives from the leadership of the college from Associate Dean Roy Barnes. Roy, you are up.
Thank you very much, Logan. And I wish to welcome everybody to the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm really happy to meet you this evening. So in many ways, I want to echo some of the things that Susan has mentioned about our small class size and close faculty interaction. I've been at the university for some 25 years now, and during my time as a faculty member, I was able to publish papers with students and have students go with me to conferences where they would present. And that we have, as we'll see, we have incredible faculty, and they're world renowned, but they're dedicated to teaching. They're dedicated to you as students. And I think this is really important because most of our faculty, the vast majority of our faculty love teaching. They love interacting with students. You are the reason why they are here and why they continue to do the work that they do. And so when we get back to normal, when we get back to in-person classes, you will see that joy that interaction brings our faculty, and you benefit from it. And we'll see in a number of ways how that happens. So speaking of the pandemic, I guess one of the things I would say is that one of the things that makes us different from other institutions is that with the pandemic, everybody's had to switch to online. But the University of Michigan-Flint and the College of Arts and Sciences has been engaged in online learning and online teaching for many years. And many of our courses, even before the pandemic, were either online or mixed mode. And so we were very well positioned to continue to deliver quality education in a very challenging time. Our faculty rose to the occasion. They developed their courses. Some of the materials that I've seen are just truly engaging. They're videos. They keep you involved and they explain things very well. So we have very good faculty. They are supported by a department that helps create incredible quality in terms of our instruction. We also have very experienced faculty, as Dean Gano-Phillips said, and as I've mentioned. And one of the, like I said, the thing is that they are here to teach. They love teaching. They wouldn't be at the University of Michigan-Flint if they didn't. And so in that way, our faculty are very dedicated, and you will see that. And that's what I think distinguishes us. We are Michigan quality, but we're at a scale in which our faculty get to know you. I know everybody in my classroom. I call them out by name. I can, if they have questions, I say, John, yeah, what's the question? And that is just a great learning experience. It's a great learning environment. But we also have some fun things that we do. We're not just all work and research. We have opportunities for students to get involved in clubs. So, for example, we have a chemistry club here. Our chemistry club has been recognized nationally by the American Chemical Society for 10 years in a row. And they do things like support fellow students with outreach in terms of how to be successful in a chemistry class. They have this so-called demo squad, which goes around to community events and demonstrates chemistry type things. And they have one thing that I miss, and I'm going to look for it next time it happens. They have a do-it-yourself lava lamp. So, I mean, you can make your own lava lamp, right? Our engineering program, they competed in a worldwide competition on cargo vehicle racing. So that involved CAD drawings, 3D printing, redesigns, test driving, and they took second place. And so in many ways, not only do you get hands-on experience, you get to have fun doing it, and you get some really cool experiences in terms of being able to compete in these sorts of things with your fellow classmates. And then the psychology program, which I think has a very interesting sort of outreach, student club. They had an event where it was come up with something artistic, come up with something creative that relates to psychology. So it could be things from drawings or paintings, ink blots, sculptures, music even, okay? And so I think one of the things that emphasizes is that the university and the College of Arts and Sciences in particular really emphasizes you to grow in many, many ways, not just your major, but across different disciplines and sort of really embrace that general education, that liberal arts learning. And finally, I think as the sort of research examples and some of these sort of fun things emphasized or pointed to is that you have experiences beyond the classroom. But a lot of these experiences are also very academic. So one of the things that I noted was that our history department, one of the faculty members there gets his students involved in cemetery preservation. They go and they clean up old headstones and they work on that over the summer when the weather's good. Also, when the weather's good, I've seen one of our professors, Heather Dawson, take her students out to the Flint River, which is just, that runs through our campus. And you'll see groups of students out there taking water samples or doing other sorts of biological experiments or looking at the wildlife there. And also too, just that you can have research experiences with your faculty that don't necessarily involve going someplace per se, but certainly involve research and having that close relationship. So again, I want to just welcome you, and really am excited for your prospects of being able to work with some top-notch faculty who really care about you as students. And so hopefully you'll make a decision to continue to come to the university and get to know our faculty, because you'll be quite impressed.
Thank you, Roy. And again, if anyone has any questions, if something is interesting and you want to learn more, or we haven't covered something that is very important to you, feel free to put that down in the chat and we'll be sure to answer it. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. One thing that we think is a real difference maker for our students in the College of Arts and Sciences are our dedicated professional academic advisors. Every CAS student has an academic advisor that is experienced with their particular major area, and they're an invaluable resource to help plan your courses, your degree pathway. They can connect you with additional resources on campus. They're an invaluable resource. And we have one of those people with us today. Jeff Dobbs is the academic advisor for our computer science programs, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about some additional student successes that he has seen during his time on campus and some additional resources that you should be aware of. Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Logan. Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm an alum of the College of Arts and Sciences. I was in your seats 32 years ago, so this is kind of a really cool feel for me. You guys are in a great position in life with the university right now, because there's so many incredible things going on. And I've seen so many amazing students over the years. It's hard to think of who in particular I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about a couple of them real quick. First guy I'm going to talk to is about, his name's Mehul. Mehul was a student who came to us as a transfer student. He was born in Zimbabwe, did primary school in Great Britain, did secondary school in Canada, came to University of Michigan-Flint to pursue his computer science degree. Mehul went through our program. He'd spent his summers traveling all over the world. And as part of his traveling, he was reaching out to communities and stuff. And as he was backpacking around, he would take deflated soccer balls with him, and he would give them to the kids in the different villages and townships he would visit. Mehul graduated from UM-Flint. He did something called PCT, Professional Curricular Training, and got this great job with a contract house out of Chicago. Turned that contract job into a full-time position with Cisco Systems, one of the largest IT companies in the United States. Worked his way up from being a junior developer to a senior developer. And then out of the blue, I get a call from him one day, and he's telling me he quit his job with Cisco. He's selling everything, and he's moving to Johannesburg, South Africa. Moved to Johannesburg, started his own IT company, and was sending me pictures of the first thing he bought when he hit Johannesburg, which was a 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. And he's been going there ever since, and he still spends his summers and his free time from his company traveling around the world and kind of helping to bring a little bit of joy into people's lives in little ways. Then got another student who I remember very fondly, Keon. Keon was from Flint. Keon, previously, before I came to College of Arts and Sciences, I worked in our academic advising center. During the school year, Keon worked in our center at our front desk, but he would spend his summers doing an internship. And he was doing internships with Consumers Energy. And he was working with the team that would plan the connections between businesses and the grid. And he did that for 3 summers, in addition to his engineering curriculum. On one summer, we found this really awesome internship with him with a federal government employer called SPAWAR, Space and Naval Warfare Systems Command Atlantic. Big name. But he got to go to Charleston, South Carolina, work with a major government institution with a whole bunch of his peers from his program. Came home, spent his last year with us, and decided to take a position with Consumers Energy. Now Keon is one of the senior engineers for Consumers for the entire western half of the state of Michigan. And on top of that, he's a professional opera singer. So he's getting out there and doing some different things and kind of approaching the world from different angles. And the last student I want to talk about is Sam. Sam's actually one of our current engineering students. Sam's involved in our American Society for Mechanical Engineers. They're building racing drones and got to participate in those great competitions. Sam was able to get an internship with General Motors. And Sam has been working with General Motors in one of their facilities, producing ventilators to help people who are suffering from the COVID pandemic. And Sam's been very involved as a student, knows all of their faculty members, is engaged with other students on campus, takes advantage of the tutoring. And right now, Sam is up for an incredibly competitive internship with NASA. So, I of course got to hear about that because how excited they were. So there's some amazing opportunities for you to take advantage of. And you don't have to just stay within a single wheelhouse. I believe Roy talked about the internship that the history department was doing. One of my students is actually going to be crossing the streams and going into history, one of my computer science students, and they're going to be helping to create databases and state accessible websites so that the restorations of the cemeteries can be shared between different stakeholders, between the diocese, which maintains those cemeteries, the groups who are doing the restoration, and the state historic groups. So there's all kinds of amazing things that's going to be out there for you to take advantage of. And don't be shy about it. Ask us, talk to us. If you've got an inkling or something you're passionate about, engage in that. Sam, who I talked about, Sam's doing a dance minor. So Sam's an engineer. She's got this passion in her life that she's taking advantage of. And we talk about how she can use that as an engineer when we look at things like body mechanics and how that can be applied professionally. So all these wonderful things are going on. So if you've got questions, ask, talk to us. And to help with that, we've got this really great website called Blue for You. And on there, you're going to find all these great resources in terms of scholarships and grants and some different financial resources that are going to be there for you. There's going to be links to how to contact your advisors, how to work with financial aid, work with our counseling services, our tutorial services, how to reach out to the dean's office or to our writing center. So there's going to be those centralized kind of resources for you. But the other people you're going to have on campus, you're going to have our professional advisors that you can use. And most of us are there for you all the time. If we've got an open door, come in and see us. You're also going to have faculty advisors who are part of your team, who are going to be able to talk with you about some of these really big issues within your majors, professional development, long-term, what graduate schools are going to be the best choice for you, what type of things you're going to want to engage in to really develop yourself as a professional, not only inside, but outside of the classroom, so that as you proceed through the institution, you're able to create your own story. You're able to make that story of you so that when you move on from this phase in your life to the next, you're not just going to be ready for employment or graduate school. You're going to be the most competitive person out there. So, this is up to you. And all this power is in your hands right now as a student to take advantage of these things and kind of chart your own direction with a little bit of help from us, hopefully. But thanks.
Wonderfully said, Jeff. Jeff was actually my academic advisor when I was an undergrad, and I can confirm that he is a great guy, although I'm a little offended that I didn't make it into his student success stories. We have one more advisor to meet tonight. The newest addition to the CAS advising team is Myesha Cannon, and she is our career advisor. So CAS has a dedicated career advisor now. We're so excited about that because our #1 priority is to make sure that you have a successful and productive time, not only here on campus, but after you graduate and you enter the professional world or graduate school. So Myesha is here to talk a little bit more about the services that she provides to the College of Arts and Sciences. Myesha, take it away.
Thanks, Logan. Good evening, everyone. We're so glad that to talk to you tonight. I am the career advisor, as Logan mentioned, for our College of Arts and Sciences. And we have a number of resources that are available to you. We always keep in mind that while you're here being prepared academically, we want you to be prepared professionally so that when you transition into the world of work, you are confident, you are prepared, you are competitive and ready for whatever opportunity that you seek. So this is, I'm going to just touch briefly on some of the programming that we do have in place that we're really excited about. We know that the goal for our students in many cases is that first career job, making sure that you're prepared. And we've developed a very intentional approach to that. So next fall, we're launching our M-Ready Career Development Program, where we are really taking an intentional, a very intentional plan to make sure that as you are moving through your college career academically, there are touch points, there are activities, there are engagement points, and that you are able to access that are going to help build the foundation that you need for the world of work. We have a number of foundational trainings, resume building, career exploration, which is really important. I know that we saw in the chat, you shared a lot of your majors, which is so exciting to see that you've figured out, have a good idea of what you're interested in studying. But we also know that we have to connect our interest and our passion to an occupation, and we're here to help you do that. So we do put an emphasis on career exploration, understanding what are your options, what kind of opportunities are out there. And my colleague Jeff mentioned a dynamic student who's both in engineering as well as the arts. You can have it all, and we're here to help you connect those dots. We're huge on experiences, internships, research experiences. Helping connect you and prepare you for those experiences is a large part of what we do when it comes to your career development. And then also making sure that you're prepared for that transition into the work field, understanding what it is to network, the importance of networking, making sure that your professional documents are the best reflection of your education skill set and experience. Some additional resources that we offer include the opportunity for one-on-one and small group advising. We focus on you as a student. When it comes to career development, it's not one size fits all. So you always have the opportunity to meet with a career advisor to discuss your needs, what your path is, ask questions, get assistance with really building your career plan, and understanding what resources are available to you, as well as we also offer that in small groups as well. We work with student clubs. We are in classrooms. We meet the students where they are, so as to make you feel that you are supported along your journey here. We have career fairs and panels where we invite alumni to come back and talk to students about their career paths, Q&As. We have information session with employers. We stress the importance of building your networking skills, and we bring the opportunities in-house. So you don't have to seek them outside of the university. We bring these opportunities in-house and encourage our students to get involved, to begin to cultivate their networking skills while they're here. We have an assortment of workshops available throughout the fall and winter semesters. Some of the topics that we've covered just this semester include networking, online networking, developing your LinkedIn page. We've had resume and cover letter development. We've had some interview sessions where we've even done some mock interviews. We do have an upcoming session for salary negotiations. As you can see, it's an array of topics to help make sure that our students are prepared. We also have a number of online resources where you're able to search for jobs, connect with employers on Handshake, and Big Interview is a tool that we use that allows you to practice your interviewing, recording it, playing it back. You can send it to an advisor for feedback. You can practice difficult to answer questions. It's a great tool. It's one of our many resources that we do have available for our students. And lastly, we're here to support you up through and after your graduation. So you don't have to feel like once you graduate, you're cut off. We're still here for you to support you along your journey as you're transitioning into the world of work.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Myesha. And we have her contact information there in case you have some additional questions. Go ahead and put that in the chat as well. But for now, let's move on to the Q&A with our current students, April and Fernando. So let's go ahead and stop the screen share right now so we can see everyone in the discussion. Let's just start off, April and Fernando, just introduce yourselves. Tell us your major and what year you are in your studies here at UM-Flint. April, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I'm April Bartle. I'm majoring in communications and minoring in Spanish, and this will be the end of my sophomore year.
Yeah, my name is Fernando. I'm actually a double major in political science and communications with a minor in international relations. And I will be going to my third year, my junior year this fall as well with April.
Excellent. So at the beginning of this session, we had everyone share the majors that they're interested in. We had a wide array. Why don't you guys talk a little bit about how you decided on your major or majors, in your case, Fernando. So Fernando, why don't you start? What made you pick the areas that you're studying in?
Yeah, so I will say first that everybody's journey is different. So don't be afraid if you don't have something already pre-picked or anything like that. But for me, for political science, that was one I came into UM-Flint already knowing I wanted to major in. And that's just because of the influence I had with a high school teacher I had for AP Gov. And he really kind of like pushed me, and he was overall an amazing teacher, really pushed me to be who I am right now. And for communication, it really was just an intro to communication class I took. And really with that, I wanted to delve in deeper into that. And I just kind of like talked with my advisor about it. And like with that, I really decided that's something I really want to get like my hands in too. So that's why I decided to choose communications. And then for international relations, honestly, I've already taken a lot of classes that already relate to it. So it would take me one more class to minor in that. So like, why not?
That makes sense. What about you, April?
Yeah, so I was kind of similar to Fernando. Coming into college, I kind of knew that I wanted to pursue a major in communications because it is very broad. But yeah, similar to him, I had some experiences in high school where I got a little bit of a taste of like advertising, marketing, business aspects, kind of like all the way around. So I wasn't exactly sure what part of communications I wanted to go into, but I knew that communications was kind of the area that I wanted to study. So I didn't come in knowing what my specialization was going to be, but I knew that communications was going to give me that broad like base to figure out exactly what kind of communications that I wanted to pursue.
And both of you mentioned minors, and I think that's such a huge point. You know, April, you're minoring in Spanish. There are more than 50 minors and certificates to choose from in CAS. And it's really a great opportunity and oftentimes an underutilized resource as part of a student study. Adding a minor or certificate to their degree, it really lets you branch out and, you know, maybe explore an interest that you didn't choose for a major, you know, for whatever reason. And sometimes students feel like they need a minor, you know, closely associated with their degree, but oftentimes it's so valuable to choose something that doesn't have a direct connection. You know, studying a foreign language and, you know, communication, you know, professional communication are fairly different, but they open doors for you. The ability to work in a, you know, a multilingual setting is huge. So I just encourage everyone to think about that, maybe review the minor and certificate options after this session. So you mentioned that you are finishing up your second year, going into your third. So you have a little bit of UM-Flint experience now. What have been the advantages in your eyes? What has stood out to you about studying at UM-Flint? April, let's start with your thoughts.
Yeah, so coming into UM-Flint, I actually had plans to first transfer to Ann Arbor after my first year because I wanted that big, fancy, sparkly kind of city experience. And after having a year at UM-Flint, I just came to really appreciate the community that we have at UM-Flint and like the small classes. You get an opportunity to, you know, get to know your professors and your advisors. You don't really feel like just one little fish in a big ocean. You kind of feel like you are valued and you have opportunities to have leadership positions, and even this position, being a CAS ambassador, I don't know if I would have gotten that same opportunity over at a bigger university where everybody is so in competition. I feel like at our university, at our campus, it's much more of like a community, and we help each other and we help each other grow. So that really stuck out to me, and that's kind of what led me to decide to stay. So
I was in the same boat as you, April. I was intending to transfer out after maybe my first few years at UM-Flint, transferring to a bigger school, but I found my community here. I ended up joining a fraternity actually, and great group of guys, really taught me a lot. And that's a big part of why I stayed, in addition to every other experience that I had here. And actually, Fernando, our other student ambassador, just joined that same fraternity. I was at the ceremony when he officially became a member. So Fernando, let's hear from you. What stands out about UM-Flint for you?
Yeah, so same thing actually with April. I know when we met, we kind of connected with that. We were like, a plan is just 1 year UM-Flint and then just transfer over to Ann Arbor. And I actually, at the end of the fall semester, I had like my application ready and I got into Ann Arbor and I was all ready to go. But I got so involved on campus, things like that, student governments, the fraternity, everything like that. And it's just, I learned that with this being a small school and things like that, you're able to, like April said, get those leadership positions, get more experience as well, and also have the opportunities to do some of the things that our Ann Arbor kids do as well. Along with that, with my major in political science, I completely love the department. I know all the professors, they know me by name as well. And I'm not scared to email them and just ask them a quick question, or even like I interviewed a couple of professors too. And it's just so easy just because I know them so well. And that's the connection that I really love about our university. It's something I wouldn't have gotten at Ann Arbor. Just really get to know my professors and talk to them, and almost like at a friendly level.
Absolutely. So let's shift gears a little bit. You've taken a few classes now. Which ones have been your favorite? What class experience have been the best for you personally? Fernando, you start.
Yeah, so one of my classes that I really enjoyed and kind of like made me like decide to actually double major in communication was my intro to public speaking class. So April was in that class as well. And that was just an overall really fun. Her and I really enjoy public speaking. So I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but we really enjoyed it. And there's some very fun and creative individuals there who made the speeches very fun and just made the class overall just a great experience. along with that, really, I loved all my political science classes just because the professors are so integrated and like really they get the response of the students and they can really kind of like change up and augment the class. So it really benefits all the students and really just creates more conversations and really makes your education really a lot better. So I recommend all the political science classes for any of the potential political science majors out there. But yeah.
And you're putting your political education to good use. I know that you're running for student government president right now. So thank you for making the time to be with us here tonight. April, what about you? What are some of your favorite classes?
So when we were in person on campus, one of my favorite classes was my Intro to Cultural Anthropology. It was just like a class where I got to like understand that there are so many different ways to do things. And I guess coming from a small town, it just kind of like hit me in the face where like there's more than one way to like run a society and have like different ways of thinking. So that kind of opened up a lot of different ideas and things in my head. But through online instruction, I think one of my favorite classes, well, I guess through my minor program has been my Spanish kind of classes, because I've had two online so far, and most of the students, we've been in the same classes. So we've kind of built like our own little, like we have a group chat that we've formed, and we actually are going to go on a field trip to a Mexican restaurant and speak Spanish. And that was all our idea. And we brought it to our professor and she said, yeah, like, let's go. And we've kind of built like a little community. And I think that class especially I've really appreciated, because through online instruction, you kind of lose a little bit of that in-person class connection, but we've persevered through that. And I think I just really, really appreciate that with that class. And my professor, she's made it really fun and still try to have like those conversations in Spanish. And even though it's a little bit different, I think we've done a really good job of like keeping our class feel like we're still in person. So, and I love learning another language. I think it's like a really valuable tool. So yeah.
And you mentioned the online instruction versus in person. These past two semesters have been a great learning experience for us. You know, it was really amazing to see everyone come together to make these semesters possible. But everything is looking like the fall semester is trending toward looking very similar to normal, right? Offering a much more expanded selection of in-person courses. So what are you two looking forward to with being back on campus in a more expanded way? April, let's start with your thoughts there.
Yeah, so my first year that we were there, I was a part of the volleyball club, and I had plans to, in my sophomore year, join a different club that's a little bit more engaged with the campus community. And, you know, we went online, and so I didn't really want to jump into that without being the full in-person experience. So I'm really looking forward to probably joining a club or two, maybe getting more connections, more involved, because I do know a lot of different students and faculty by now, but I kind of want to just take that extra step and, you know, put in some work towards our you know, our campus community, and seeing more people that I haven't seen in like, I guess, a year and a half, because we are such a small community. You see like a lot of the same students and same faces around, and it'll just be interesting to see those people again around. And yeah, so.
Fernando, what about you?
Yeah, so for me, well, just really thinking about it, I've spent more time online doing my education than in person. So I'm really getting like the exciting feeling I got when I started my freshman year, but I already know and I'm involved in the organization. So it's really just being able to see everybody again and really be able to coordinate with the organization I'm in, actually be there in person and see like the changes, like for student government, for example, see the changes that we're doing for students like in action instead of like it being through an online method. You're just seeing that as well. And just honestly, just being on campus, just walking to class. I miss that feeling of going outside. I lived in housing, so just walking out of the first street and just heading to class and things like that. And just hanging out with my friends and everything like that. Because with it being such a small college and things like that, you really do make strong connections with people very quickly. You see a lot of people in your different classes and as you're moving up your major and things like that, you'll see the same people over and over again. And you really kind of form a community with the individuals you study with. And it's really that connection that I miss, that it's kind of really hard to maintain while we're in online format, which is why I'm so excited. We're hopefully going to be back in person.
Excellent. Thank you both so much. You talk about getting that feeling of going back to college for the first time. When I hired April as a student ambassador, I hired her, and then basically the next day we all started working remotely. So it's been a unique challenge for all of us. Thank you, guys. And there will be more time for questions at the end of our scheduled programming. So if you have more questions for April and Fernando, there'll be time for that. But we want to turn it over to our admissions staff so they can share some important information about next steps so you can get registered and enrolled with UM-Flint. So I'll turn it over to our admissions folks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Logan. Thanks for having me here tonight. Good to see some familiar faces of some students I've worked with in the past and things like that. So when we're talking about next steps, there's kind of three main pillars, I would say, if you've already been admitted to a college that you want to cover. First one will be financial aid. So make sure you've gotten your FAFSA to us. I know Mary put all her information in there as well. So I would recommend reaching out to her if you've had any trouble with that. The next one would be housing. So if you're planning to live on campus, to go in and complete your housing application. I put a link in there that has the direct link for the housing website for how to apply, and that'll break it down step by step. There's a document there that'll help you the whole way through the housing application. And then last but not least, the way you confirm that you want to attend U of M-Flint and that you're committing to U of M-Flint is to sign up for orientation. So you can do that in your SIS account, or you can go to that link right there as well through the Student Success website that'll again give you the steps for how to sign up for orientation. And then I just want to touch on the two other things I put in there. We are currently offering campus tours. Availability is limited, so I would recommend checking those out soon and signing up as soon as possible. And then we're also going to be offering an ACT test here not this Saturday. I think it's going to be 2 Saturdays. It'll be the 27th. But there's 48 spots available for that. If you weren't able to take the ACT or SAT and you want to get an increased scholarship, that's a great opportunity to do that. You'll do it right on our campus, and the scores will stay with U of M-Flint. So if you're planning to come here, that would be a great option to increase those scholarship dollars. And then last but not least, just kind of a plug for admissions. If you guys have any questions or want to know more, Dr. Barnes hit on it perfectly earlier with our professors, but in admissions, we do what we do because we want to help you out through this process. As you kind of transition from high school to college, there's going to be a lot of things that pop up, maybe some barriers. And that's what we're here for, is to help you through that and to make the process as easy as possible. And we love working with students, so don't be afraid to reach out. Thanks, Logan.
Thank you, John. So at this point in time, if anyone has any questions, you are invited to come off mute and ask them. I'll start it off with asking our students about staying organized and managing your time, especially these past few semesters that have been online. What are some tools that you guys have used to stay organized and make sure that you're not missing out on important deadlines?
Okay, I guess I'll go. So one thing that's been crucial to me, and as well as probably many other people, is just having a planner and making sure to write those dates in there, really big, bright letters. Otherwise I'm a forgetter. So if I don't write things down, I definitely am gonna miss things. So that's just been super helpful. It's kind of been like my second set of information, and yeah, that's kind of kept me pretty organized, pretty on top of things, and like kind of kept me accountable too, because there's almost a feeling of what's that called? Like accomplishment when you have to do things and you check off a thing, and it kind of motivates you to keep going. So I just love my planner. It's been extremely helpful for me.
Yeah, so for me, it's pretty similar. It's my Google Calendar. So if it's not on my Google Calendar, then I kind of basically forget about it. So that's been my main tool of making sure I stay organized and make sure I go to all the meetings and classes that I need to go to. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. It's just my Google Calendar.
Any other questions?
I have a question about the communications internship. So how does that process work?
I'm happy to offer a bit of input here. There are a few programs across the college where an internship is an expectation or is built into the curriculum or the requirements of the degree. And communications is one of those. So at some point after you've met the prerequisites and you're working along with your faculty and professional advisor, you'll start talking about what kind of experiences you want to have. And I welcome April or Fernando, if you have specific information about that you want to share to join in. In many other programs, internships are not a requirement. And so folks like our career advisor, Myesha, can help you to identify career opportunities. Our professional staff advisors, I'm sure Jeff knows a whole bunch of computer science, related kinds of fields, and we're building more of those all the time. And I think that platform Handshake is where job opportunities and internships are often posted. And so if you just want to get out there once you have your UM-Flint ID and can get logged into Handshake, you can just go see what's out there that people are looking for and to start exploring that. And then of course, either through your faculty advisors or through the professional advisors, you develop the resume and the cover letter skills that you're going to need to go after and be successful in securing one of those.
Yes, I was just wondering. Because that's what I want to do. Well, I'm thinking of doing. I might change it like once I start doing university. I also do the Promise Scholar program, so that is also very helpful with picking out the right degree for myself.
Yeah, the Promise Scholars program is a great program as well. And there's a lot of support and guidance and folks available to you to kind of bounce ideas off of and to connect you to other people on campus to explore. So there is a faculty member who coordinates the communication studies, internship. And if you want to be connected, just chat me and I will give you their name and contact information.
Thank you, ma'am.
And yeah, don't be shy about changing your major. I changed my major probably 4 or 5 times. The good thing is that as you're completing general education requirements, it exposes you to a lot of different areas, and it allows you to take courses that maybe you wouldn't have thought of to take in the first place, but you can find an interest that you didn't even know you had. So it's not like you need to come in here with a very clear picture of what you want to study. You have the flexibility to explore and choose something that is right for you at the right time. What else do we have? Any other questions? Anything about UM-Flint at all?
I guess I can speak a little bit on my internship process. So I've actually done an internship the summer after my freshman year, just kind of because I wanted to get like some experience. That was one that I personally kind of like sought out and pursued. I didn't count it towards my internship credits because I just wanted to get a little bit of experience and figure out exactly where I wanted to do like a professional, well, it was a professional internship, but an internship where I could maybe see myself having like a job or career in later on. So I personally went out and sought that one out. I know you don't have to do that. I know your faculty advisor does a really good job at like laying out the options and figuring out exactly like what's the best internship for you. I also really encourage, I think Susan spoke on it too, Handshake. I highly recommend that you check out Handshake. Get your account set up, and there's a lot of different opportunities that pop up on there and just kind of get you thinking about which direction you want to take for your internship.
I saw in the chat that we had a couple folks interested in wildlife biology. If you'd like, share any particular areas that you're interested in. If you're interested in plants or mammals or anything like that. So we have a really impressive wildlife biology program that we might be able to connect you with some more information.
Logan.
Yeah.
If I may.
Go for it.
Yeah. So one of the things I really would like to encourage all of you to do, and is not be intimidated by the faculty. As I mentioned or tried to emphasize, they really love teaching. They love interacting with students. So don't be afraid to ask them questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions in your classes. Don't be afraid to take advantage of office hours. Those are really important learning experiences. And you get to know, I mean, our students conveyed that they see their faculty not just as these faculty that are distant, but really as people they can talk to. And I think that's a really important aspect of the experience you can get at the University of Michigan-Flint and the College of Arts and Sciences. So please, take advantage of the accessibility that our faculty afford to you. I think it's a great asset for our college.
I got a direct question about what I believe the advantages that we're going to a smaller school versus a larger school. Well, as I said before, I'm an alum of the University of Michigan-Flint. Honestly, the access that you are going to get to faculty is going to be absolutely amazing compared to what you can get in some of the larger schools. With my departments that I work with at the university, I have students who are doing research projects with faculty as first-year students in places that you wouldn't see at a big R1 institution. The faculty know who they are by name. When I walk into a staff meeting and we're talking about you guys. We know what's going on in your lives. We know what's happening. We're looking at addressing your needs in real time. So that's actually one of the big advantages. You're going to develop relationships with people that are going to last a lifetime. I stop and look at my own life. I am still close with my faculty advisor from the psychology department from 30 years ago. So yeah, you're going to have some amazing opportunities that you're going to get from an institution our size. We've got resources, but we're still nimble enough to make a difference in your lives as an undergrad.
I'll take one last call for any questions or comments.
Yes, I'll just close, Logan, by saying, as the dean of the college, I'm working with faculty and with students day in and day out. I'm having those office hours. If you want to come and talk to me, I have office hours a couple of times a month where students can just make an appointment or stop in and talk to us. So we are accessible. What I want to say most importantly as you leave, though, is don't be absent between now and August. If there's things you need, if you want to be on campus, if you want to come check out that new building, we can set up those tours. We can meet with you. We can set you up to talk to a faculty or professional advisor. We can work with the financial aid office if you have some questions that we need to work through to get you the best support we can. We are here from now on through your graduation to be available to you. So don't hesitate to reach out. I see Thomas is asking, who should I contact if I want to set up a tour? In the chat, there is a link that was posted there by John Amboy that says campus tours. I think you might have to copy that. It didn't come in as a live link, or maybe John, you could repost it at the bottom so that they can find it. But it's just a quick form you fill out, and you actually get to choose your date and time right on the website and set up a time that works for you.
And I'll just remind everyone that your next step to confirm that you're ready and excited to be a UM-Flint student is to register for orientation. And in that chat from John, he provided the link for you to register. So be sure to do that. Pick the date and time again that is right for you. And we'll be excited to see you on campus. And again, if you have any questions between now and then, don't hesitate to reach out. So thank you, everyone. This was a great event. Thank you all for being engaged and asking questions. And we're so excited to see you all in just a few months. So thanks, and go Blue.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
So long.
If anybody's hanging on and has questions, please feel free to unmute. I know sometimes life gets in the way and you have to step away from the computer, but if you're there because you have questions, we're here for a moment. Feel free. Well, I'll offer my thanks to everyone and get out of the way here tonight. Appreciate all of your time.
Good to see everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.